Welcome, everyone. Happy Father's Day to everyone. And if your father is in heaven, also happy Father's Day to all the ascended fathers, those who are in the other dimensions, who are looking over and protecting us, sending us their love. And today is Sunday, it's June 18th, 2023. And on Sunday, we always celebrate the Father in heaven, the Son also. The Son is the divine life, it is the soul, he is everything that brings life and higher intelligence, and also the confidence in the personal power that helps us express ourselves in the world. A lot of those qualities come from our fathers who knowingly or unknowingly are teaching us how to function in the world and learn social skills and be confident that we can do our work in the world. And also I want to talk to you about the power times of July. They're going to be extraordinary, starting right from the full moon. So we are in the waxing moon phase, and the waxing moon means building, creating lots of emotion for our manifesting, our desires to come to fruition. And Guru Purnima has immense powers. And we cannot overstate that, because literally we have the creation power and the intelligence of the full moon when all the ascended beings, the divine beings, come to the earth plane. But this one in particular, of course, if you've been celebrating with Dr. Pillai, Guru Purnima, you know what I'm talking about. And those of us who have not had the experience, it's a time for transformation. It's a time for receiving the blessings of our gurus and ascended masters, and also our living masters. So we're very lucky. We studied with Dr. Pillai, and he's guiding us. And sometimes we don't see the subtle level of realities, but we may feel it, we may imagine it. All that comes to fruition on full moon of the Guru, which is on the 2nd. And Dr. Pillai is doing a beautiful program for us. And I don't know if you had a chance to catch his video live today. And he said he's doing something totally new. He himself has evolved, and every moment is better than the previous one. Every second is better, and we are evolving at super speed now because we have entered Satya Yuga, which is a time of transition. But spiritual people can understand what this means. We intuitively know that something has shifted, that now we have more chances to receive the blessings and the also the help we've been needing, because spiritual people, being spiritual, sometimes forget the practical aspect of life. Or when we have our focus on the practical, we may be scattered. Our souls will just want to ascend, right? So these power times, Shreem Brzee will help you have the 200% life. Come enjoying the beauty of this creation, of this earth plane, and still evolve at the same time. So why don't we start with our presentation, first slide. I understand from the tech team that the slides are going to be slow. I don't know if that, but so please bear with me as we go through these slides. Our tech team is very busy trying to make a beautiful presentation. And so the first full moon, don't miss this time. Pray for your manifestations. So you can still pray to the goddess Shreem Brzee. Make sure you recite your Shreem Brzee. Listen to Shreem Brzee. Live, breathe Shreem Brzee. Try to put that energy of Shreem Brzee everywhere. And also connect and thank your gurus on that day. You can sign up for Guru Purnima program with Dr. Pillai. That is something that I strongly recommend. So the waxing phase, right? It's always a time when manifesting is easier. So don't get confused with other information, other ways of reading time. We know from the yogis and from Vedic astrology and all the Maharishi who have expressed this. Everything happens during the full moon in the sense of manifesting. The waning moon is a little different, and we will talk about that. Next slide, please. So this is the power time of the month. It's really the most beautiful time of the year to connect with your gurus. I don't know if you saw the Dr. Pillai, the video with Dr. Pillai live, and also Lakshmi, Gina was explaining what it does to you on many levels. The more we understand the subtle realities, and that everything happens on levels that are not always physical, we understand that the darshan of the guru, the love of the guru, can make the difference, can change our lives overnight. And I was in San Diego for Guru Purnima in 2019, and Gina was talking about this, and so everybody was crying. There was so much love, so crying from joy, crying from bliss at the end of this 3-day event with Dr. Pillai. And we don't know how we're evolving, but the divine understands that. And I think I lost my video. That's okay. And also, you don't need to know how this is working. You'll be transformed. So pray to Dr. Pillai, do avatar arti if you're familiar with it. You can take a candle, simple candle. When I was traveling, sometimes I didn't have access to ghee lamps, so I would use a little tea light and go around this picture like this. And I would recite maybe 9 mantras, like the Mula mantra, if you're familiar with it. And when I was in incredible hurry, sometimes I would just say the word Baba. Baba means the remover of sin. Papa is sin in Sanskrit. So Baba is the being who loves you so much, who is channeling the divine into our physical realities and is removing our bad karma, is removing our sin. So you can say that, but you can also recite the mantra, maybe Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Babaya Namaha. Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Babaya Namaha with the light. 3 times, that's enough if you cannot do anything else. Or just you can download from YouTube the mantra, the Mula mantra. And there are many beautiful versions. One is with music, very lovely, the new one. And then as you chant to him, ask for what you want. Ask for that evolution, for that transformation that we are craving. And that sometimes life is so dull through the senses that we don't realize we are already experiencing it. Next, please. So you can write or chant the Shreem Brzee 1008 times. And then we will start the waning moon phase. So as I said before, on July 2nd, we have the full moon. And today is, we're still in June. So we have some time to prepare for Guru Purnima. I always prepare myself about 2 weeks before Guru Purnima. I try to eat lighter and to be more in touch with my spiritual goals, but also material goals. I don't know, recently I told a story, I don't know if you were in the same program, but I was trying to write a book and I had this book ready, I had all the content, etc., but I needed a structure and the idea was not coming. I was really struggling with that. And I was in San Diego for Guru Purnima one time and the idea just came on its own, just a wish manifested without asking. So after the seminar with Dr. Pillai, I went to my hotel room and the idea just came and I started to write down everything I wanted to say in the book and what structure I wanted to give it. It was channeled. I didn't do anything. That is just one of the examples how the blessings keep pouring in your life when you're in the presence of an enlightened master. And you can communicate with the enlightened masters, even the ascended ones, Paramahansa Yogananda, Babaji, Mahavatar, with your mind, with your soul, with your heart. So you can do that on Guru Purnima, July 2nd. All right, so let's move on to the waning phase. Don't underestimate the power of the waning moon phase. The lunar phases that are darker and darker still are channeling a lot of divine beings that you can connect with. On the new moon, it's a different story, but during the waning phase, you want to go within and choose things you want to let go that are obstructing your success, your relationships, or even your finances. And as you do that, you can keep having this intention that you want to let go of everything that is slowing you down. It could be maybe a way of relating to certain people. And you choose consciously to let that go. And you will be helped, even if you want to shed some pounds, if you want to lose some weight, the waning moon phase is very good because it's a time to lose things, to let go, to become lighter and let more light in. Next, please. Okay, I love this lunar phase because I pray to Ganesha every day. But on the fourth moon, I think, oh, wait a minute. There's no point doing anything on the fourth moon without invoking Ganesha. Ganesha is the being that rules this difficult full moon because it's not an auspicious time per se. It becomes auspicious after praying to Ganesha. So offer your prayers to Ganesha, chant Om Gam 108 times. Also, Shreem Brzee in the throat can remove obstacles or karmic thought forms that are blocking us in our in manifesting, right? So on the fourth moon, you can smash some coconuts, offer them to Ganesha, or even one is enough. And you can even use a coconut as a karma removal device, as a methodology to remove bad karma. So you can roll the coconut on your head and say Om Gam, Om Gam, Om Gam 3 times. Then you break the coconut, and maybe you want to use some paper and make sure you don't spill the juice around, because that is become by proxy your karma, your thought forms. So you don't want to spread them. You try to contain them, maybe use some plastic underneath, and then throw it away and wash your hands, wash your face, and now you feel lighter. So Ganesha has absorbed by proxy all that negativity, those obstacles that are really unseen. Most of the times when we're thinking about a project, a wish that we want to manifest, there's something unseen that can block that. And you can be sure that at this time, all beings, subtle beings, are alert and they're not always good, and they want to block spiritual people. So you make sure Ganesha takes care of that, and you don't want to interfere. Just let Ganesha get out of the way. I say to myself, I'll get out of the way and let Ganesha. So that is one of the ways you can do that. And after that, you feel lighter, so your projects, your goals will be much easier to manifest. I also like to ask Ganesha, please remove all obstacles from the past, because I don't know which ones are blocking me today, right? And also from the present, usually they're unseen, as I said, and from the future. So we would like to know the future. We don't always perceive what can go wrong. So Ganesha will remove all that negativity. Also, there's some scriptural reference, some scriptures that talk about how the fourth moon is not good for your eyes. It's not good for to be viewed. There is a story, a myth that says that actually people who look at the fourth moon will be accused of something they haven't done. And there is a whole story about it, but it's too long to explain. And what happens is actually that there are radiations in the sky. And also I believe in myth, because there are an eternal reality, as Dr. Pillai always reminds us. So don't try to avoid looking at the moon. At least I try to avoid it when I think, oh, it's fourth moon. I don't want to look at the moon tonight. just in case. And but I do know I'm not superstitious, but I do believe in this knowledge of the Maharishis who told us it's not a good energy of the moon in the fourth phase. Next, please. And now we go to this beautiful moon, whether it's waxing or waning, so the darker phase or the lighter phase of the moon. It's a very powerful time. And I remember when I was in India, Dr. Pillai would offer tulsi leaves to the statues of Shiva. That is one of them in Kumbakonam. And he would just offer them on the 11th moon and would just, you probably can see in this picture, there is a reclining Vishnu, Narayana, and there are some leaves on his chest on the left side of the picture with Dr. Pillai. So you can offer tulsi leaves to a statue of Vishnu, and you can recite Om Namo Narayanaya. So even if you don't have any tulsi leaves, which are not really easy to find, for example, in North America where I am, but sometimes a grower, someone who sells produce, sometimes provides them for me. And you can also use tulsi tea. That's another way that you can connect with Vishnu. And you can say Om Namo Narayanaya and drink some tulsi tea. And then you do it 3 times. So it's another way that involves the senses and that you can connect with the divine. And the divine becomes real for us when we introduce the senses. So in this case, it will be taste, right? And also feeling in the heart of this mantra and connecting with Vishnu. He will bring so much wealth. And you can also make a deal with Vishnu. If you give me this, I will do this for the poor, or I'll bring this to your temple. If you're in India, it's easy to find a Vishnu temple. But also in the US, you can find, or in other countries. For example, I know that there are ISKCON temples everywhere. There, Krishna is a form of Vishnu. Okay, so pray for your manifesting. Never lose the sight of what you really want. And don't concentrate so much on what you don't want. It is natural for us to see, oh, this table is so shabby, or that car is not my car, I don't want it anymore. So that is another way we concentrate on poverty. How about saying, wow, this is the car I want, or look, I saw a picture of a beautiful table I want to buy, and so on. So concentrate always on what you want and not so much on the things that are in your life that makes you frustrated. And when we remember the lunar phases, we have more of a help, divine help to create the life we want. Next, please. Okay, this is a very important time. Every 13th moon, you have a chance, you have an opportunity to completely change your life. We are skeptical and we need to be reminded. Dr. Pillai was talking about this again today, after I've been following him for 15 years. And he's always talked about the 13th moon. And we know that maybe intellectually we have memorized it, the 13th moon, I can cut lines, etc. But this is the time when you can get rid of all the most useless thought forms. So we don't always recognize what's helping us in our thoughts and what isn't. But usually, like some thoughts of frustration, some poverty thinking. Even the richest people can have poverty thinking. Maybe they want more and more because they feel they don't have enough. But we all have our blessings and we all have our negative thought forms. So they usually come from ancestors and from our past lives. It's very difficult to forget a traumatic experience. So imagine with all our lifetimes, with all the times we came here on the earth plane, or maybe on other planets, and we learned something, we had a difficult experience, all those thoughts are still in us and we want to get rid of them. If we want a new, beautiful life, a life worth of being living. So we need to do something different. And the 13th moon gives you the opportunity. You need the grace and you need the time Shakti, you need the energies to favor that. Okay, you can do that even on a full moon, right? But a 13th moon, you have more help. So on a 13th moon, you have the energy of Shiva. Shiva is the most compassionate being, the eternal being who wants to help humanity. You can visualize blue light in the throat if you have nothing else. If you have lines, you can roll them on your head, or you can start from the shoulders, right shoulder, left shoulder, throat, even your eyes, your forehead, your head. So the thoughts don't come from the brain, right? But the brain receives the thoughts from ether and from our genes and from the environment, from everywhere. So we want to let either a coconut or a lime absorb that negative karma so we can get rid of it. And as we cut, we say, I'm cutting this lime or lemon or breaking this coconut to remove. And you can say what you want to remove. My bad money karma, my bad relationship karma, my bad health karma, anything that is blocking you, any thoughts. I want to remove my bad relationship karma. And the intention may be, there's no need to state it again, but it may be like changing your relationships so that they become more loving and supportive. So as you do that, then you wash your hands and now you're free. So as you say, Tiru Nila Kantam, also, that's very important, the mantra for Shiva. Tiru means sacred, Nila means blue, Kantam is the throat. So the sacred throat of the blue being, right? The blue throat of Shiva. He is removing our karma with his love and his tears and he drank the poison. That is the myth. He drank the poison to give us a beautiful life. And we need to remember that, because otherwise we'll get stuck with all these thoughts that keep coming back. The past, this life, past lives, and even the lives of our ancestors, because we don't know all of them. We don't know what they've done. We don't know whether they were happy or feeling miserable all the time. We don't want those thoughts. Next, please. Now, the new moon, I like to talk a lot about the new moon, but I'll try to be concise. I know you all may have dinners for your fathers or with your children. And Adi Amavasya. There is a special new moon that we don't want to miss, and it's on July 16th. And this is like the ultimate time to remove bad karma, to pray to our ancestors. Our ancestors are usually suffering because they're not all enlightened, right? So we want to help them. As we help them, hopefully out of love and concern for them, but also for self-interest. Let's be honest, we also don't want to suffer. So as they evolve, they're able to send you so much love and so much help. There are so many instances I hear of people who had, for example, a near-death experience, and they will see their departed ancestors who will advise them to do something, or maybe a grandmother who will tell them, don't do this, do this other thing. And wonderful things happen in their lives then when they return to their conscious state. And so I believe that they are still around us, but hopefully they're getting more evolved. They are going into the light. We want to help them do this crossing over into the light. Then they become like devas for us. They can help us. And this new moon is ideal. There are ancestral rituals that you can do, of course. You can sign up for them at AstroVed, I believe also Pillai Center. And there are even programs for a whole year to remove bad karma and helping your ancestors. So we don't worship our ancestors as they do in other cultures, like some Asian cultures. I know they do worship their ancestors. That's all fine, but we do want to help our ancestors evolve. And we don't want them to suffer. And I will never forget the first time Dr. Pillai said that, that I was aware of, I was there. He said, all your ancestors are upside down when they're suffering a lot, when they had a difficult life or they had some trauma and they want to heal, and they come around you during the new moon. And I thought, oh my goodness, I don't want them to suffer. I wanted to help them. And so even when I don't feel like doing Tarpanam, I think, no, it's not fair to them. I want them to evolve and I want them to be free. And both my parents are transitioned into the light. I believe so. I've been doing Tarpanam also for all my families, all my ancestors, for all generations. But you can start with 6 generations, and maybe after a year, you can transition to 12 generations, then maybe 24. And then you can just say to all my ancestors from my father's side and all my ancestors from my mother's side. So try a few things and see how you feel. In the beginning, I wasn't very comfortable calling on all my ancestors. So I felt dead ancestors. I felt a little bit timid, a little bit also afraid. So as you become comfortable with the idea, then you can pray to all of them and just ask them to go to the light. That's enough. We ourselves are light. So this physical reality is not real. Quantum physics also tells us that it's all our creation, and we are perceiving this life according to our thoughts, our senses, etc. So we can change it all. And being loving and compassionate towards our ancestors is the way for ourselves to evolution and light. Okay, next, please. So now we have Adi full moon. So the ultimate, the maximum wealth can come to you during this full moon. So it's a beautiful energy. We don't want to miss it. The time Shaktis keep coming back, right? But if we're unaware of them, we will not be able to tap fully into them and benefiting personally. So you want to pray to the goddesses, pray to goddess Shreem Brzee, pray to goddess Lakshmi on the full moon. You can do also, we have 2 full moons in July, so that's awesome. And so I believe it's July 2nd, the 1st, and then July 31st. Now you have 2 days in this month that can make you a wealthy person, or at least it can fix a problem that you've had, a repeating problem, a situation that got blocked long ago, maybe out of a decision you've made, or also something that is hard. The meaning itself can escape us. Why am I still living this way? Or why am I doing these things? We don't want to analyze that too much. It can help to be self-aware, but it's easier to pray to the goddess. She will give you new goals. Lakshmi means orientation, goals. She herself will tell you, go there. You don't need to hear her voice. She's helping you to make a decision that maybe you couldn't have made a week ago or a month ago, just because you spent 3 hours chanting Shreem Brzee. It is possible. Also, we have this beautiful program, full immersion, Shreem Brzee program, every month when there will be a beautiful ritual with flower petals. So if you have a flower and you take 1 petal and you chant Shreem Brzee to this petal, what happens is that the petal itself will multiply the mantra, because flowers hold the energy of ether, space. And space expands, right? Can expand. It's kind of like Jupiter. Jupiter expands everything that comes in touch with Jupiter. So a flower petal is the energy of space. Jupiter also is space. So you chant the Shreem Brzee, and it's like maybe 100 times Shreem Brzee if you say it 1 time, or maybe even 1,000. It depends on your belief system, but I believe that they expand in countless ways. So there would be a beautiful ritual. Sucharita, who's a Pillai Center Master, Pillai Center Teacher, will be doing that ritual. And then Swamini Valli, who's a priestess at Pillai Center, will do a beautiful fire ritual in honor of Goddess Lakshmi, Lord Vishnu, and all these beautiful beings. Also, Dr. Pillai, his energy will come through and remove your karma. He himself is Shreem Brzee now. He said, when you say Shreem Brzee, I am interfering with your finances, with your money karma. So we want to allow divine energy, divine beings to help us. And I believe Dr. Pillai is a very divine being. And if you just think he's a guide, he's a teacher, doesn't matter. Just I believe in the energy of the teachers. And without teachers, we wouldn't even know how to count, and of course, even our parents are teachers. All right, so I'm talking so much about this, but the point is, do something special always when the moon is full. And we're very fortunate in this program because we're aware of the time Shaktis. As a Vedic astrologer, I have never looked back. I always look at the time Shaktis. I always look at the Hora watch to find out every day where the moon is. And of course, after a while, you kind of know, right? I don't need to look at the Hora watch to know where the moon is today. But if I want to see, for example, the degree of the moon or the aspects, and just to remind myself, I will go and check my software. But you don't need to be a Vedic astrologer. So in this live call, you have received the guidance that Vedic astrologers have, and also that the Maharishi have given us. They knew that a very dark time was beginning. It was Kali Yuga. So even though everyone was aware of these secrets of time and space and karma, they decided to write it all down for us to help us. And now that Kali Yuga has ended for spiritual people, we want to come in touch with the divine. And Shakti itself means goddess, the energy of the goddess, the power of the goddess. So we want to understand time better. Don't miss these beautiful times. And if you have a question now, you can ask and type in chat, or I or Radha is with us, will tell us, she will tell us the questions if there are any. So also a comment, we have more, sorry. So we went from the 31st to Anurada star. Okay, so Anurada is very special, and it's one of my favorite nakshatras. Even though it's in Scorpio, it can feel for some people very, very intense. But I believe in the power of emotions. So when your emotions are powerful, they can go deep, and you can connect with Goddess Lakshmi. She was born on Anurada star. And Vishwamitra, Maharishi Vishwamitra, who's also an incarnation, who's, Babaji and Dr. Pillai is an incarnation of Vishwamitra. That's one of the secrets from the Nadi readings, etc. Gave us Brzee. The sound Brzee is infinite wealth. It's wealth itself. It's a seed that you can use to make wealth sprout, change your consciousness. So again, the mind is very negative, but by nature, by definition, even science says that we have so many thoughts pulling us in different directions. The sound Brzee, we remove bad karma, and you can use it as a karma removal device, but to grow your wealth, you need to chant it. And also Shreem Brzee is a revelation from Dr. Pillai, who has added the Bija mantra of Goddess Lakshmi. So just chant the Shreem Brzee and feel the power of Goddess Lakshmi and the blessings of Vishwamitra, Dr. Pillai. So next, please. In other words, so don't miss Anurada star because it's a powerful day. It happens once a month approximately. And when you pray to Goddess Shreem Brzee, you can connect more easily with Goddess Lakshmi. And now we have Friday. So Friday is a very important day. Every week you have, but also you have mini Fridays. What is a mini Friday? You go to your Hora watch and look at Venus Hora. So both Venus Horas and Fridays carry amazing energy of the goddess. Then we have this beautiful month of Adivali. Adivali is a time when we connect with the goddesses. And so these Fridays are going to be very powerful. There are 4 of them: July 7th, July 14th, July 21st, and July 28th. So don't miss these Fridays. If we forget, right? So the beauty of this presentation is that you can go back and see, okay, what day is this? I don't want to miss the power of Shreem Brzee and Goddess Lakshmi. So you're reminded of this opportunity. We're opening portals to wealth, to a new life, to something really auspicious and beautiful. And on Friday, you have a chance to do that. The whole day is usually very conducive to connecting with all the goddesses, but we're talking about wealth, right? And Shreem Brzee. So stay connected to Goddess Lakshmi. You can also pray to her consort. She's always happy when you mention Lord Vishnu. But in general, just chant Shreem Brzee all day long. Or I like sometimes to go to sleep with Shreem Brzee in the background. Maybe I am aware, but I think I am. So I will hear it from another room, and I am able to sleep through it. So it's also another way to use time Shaktis. Okay, next, please. Tip for the month. Fantasize about what you want to become. Nothing happens without imagination. So everything you want today came from a thought and from an imagination you had. For example, you want a promotion and you imagine yourself in that position and how you like the bigger paycheck that comes to you through that, but also like more confidence and knowing that you can help in that position, etc. So whatever you want comes from a thought you had and a desire, right? So imagination is a wonderful way to use your own power. We have all powers. We are here to remember that. And Dr. Pillai is helping us snap out of our comfort zone where we think we are so-and-so, this age, that with that income, with that bank account, with this family. So we can use our imagination to not only to escape the dullness of the day, but also to create. So creation is pretty much an imagination. You see it in your eyes, you chant the mantras, use the Powertimes. This whole presentation is about Powertimes. More and more people are understanding that things don't happen on the physical level so much, but everything happens through your perceptions, your observation. So use the powers you have to observe, fantasize, visualize where you want to go. And take some time every day to visualize lots of wealth, beauty, good health, a wonderful environment from where you can work and you can live, and even become enlightened if that's what you're looking for. Sometimes we also need a supportive environment to reach our spiritual goals. I believe that because we need the silence, the quiet corner, the comfortable sofa. I don't know. I personally like to have altars and flowers and beautiful statues of divine beings around as a reminder every second that I'm not this. I don't want to be just this physical body. So this technique will help you to realize your fantasy, your imagination, and manifest them, right? So keep dreaming, keep fantasizing. It's not a waste of time. I believe this is the last one, or maybe there's another slide. I guess it's the last. All right, so Friday, Shreem Brzee group chanting. Don't miss this special event every week. You can chant in a group. Group chanting is a powerful secret, and a lot of people chant alone, right? So that's totally fine. You're evolving and you're manifesting for sure. But together we have a lot more power. And there have been so many experiments. The most famous of all was the Maharishi experiment, when 6,000 people came together and chanted mantras. And it was Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who was one of Dr. Pillai's formal teachers. And everything changed in the environment. And even crime disappeared or something like that. 70% of crime didn't happen, according to statistics. So it was a huge impact on the consciousness of the meditators, but also on their environment, in their world, in their country. That's amazing. We have that kind of power. So together we can do that. We're more powerful and the consciousness expands that way. So try to go and join this call. It's very powerful. Next, please. Yes, so full moon immersion. That is a 2-hour power time you can use with your community. Go to the puja with Sucharita. It's 108 flower petals. So I just did it one time. And I believe I chanted Shreem Brzee for quite a bit, thanks to one petal. Imagine 108 flower petals. At some of Dr. Pillai's events, I remember one in New York City, where we stayed about 2 hours after he left, and we used flowers that were in the on stage or around, and we chanted Shreem Brzee to the petal, and we put it on his on Goddess Lakshmi's picture. And so imagine that one day probably equaled months of chanting. So don't miss this special time. You can have your own flowers or simply imagine it, fantasize that you're there with Sucharita putting these beautiful flowers on the statue of Goddess Lakshmi. And there's, as I said, a full moon fire ritual with the priestess, Swamini Valli, that will follow the flower petal offerings. So I like this quote. I never get tired of it. Fire is the best way to reach to the gods and offer your prayers. Right? It's we're using gamma rays, infrareds, like a remote control. We're asking the divine for what we want. All right, so this is the end of the presentation, but also an opportunity to ask questions and share an experience. We love to hear from you. Also, Dr. Pillai likes to receive comments and experiences from our community, students. Yes, so I understand Radha has a question. Thank you, Radha. What's the question? Can't see the chat. What is the best Shreem Brzee chant to use? Recording with 1,008 times. The best. Okay, in the program, Full Moon Immersion, right? Shreem Brzee Full Moon Immersion. We have all kinds of recordings. You can use one of them, but also you can go live and sign up for these events. I believe that in group, even 108, it's more powerful. And also what you do in person at home. Maybe you wake up in the morning and after you shower, you offer some flowers to the goddess and you keep the image of Goddess Lakshmi. I don't have a statue here right now, but I have several around the house. So you take the statue, you keep it in your right hand and chant. Do that for an hour and see what happens. I've had amazing miracles that way, with all the mantras, with a statue, and just feeling it in my heart, feeling the mantra, the vibrations. So that is a very powerful way to chant. I believe that was your question, Rara. Can you please be more specific if I didn't answer your question? Can we reuse the petals when we say Shreem Brzee in them? You can keep them around. They're blessed, right? They have absorbed the energy of the goddess, and the space element purifies. So keep them around. I personally don't reuse them, but I heard you can. So it's up to you. I prefer using fresh flowers, even if it's just some wild flowers from my garden, or I just buy something. I try to buy fresh flowers because I love flowers and I like to keep them around. But I guess you can. Yes, you can. I don't, but you can. Yes, no more questions. Okay. Thank you, Radha. All right. Thank you so much for joining live. Have a wonderful day, wonderful Father's Day. Enjoy your time with your father or with your fathers in heaven, the divine, and see you soon.